Hello. Nothing? Hey, we got it. There it is. No, we got it. This is what happens. Sometimes we have tough days. You still can't hear me? Can you have me now? Yeah, there we go. What's up, everyone? That was miserable. That wasn't fun. What's happening, everyone? What's going on? Holy shit, every morning. Oh, chest pain. Holy chest pain. Wow. Burning hot. Got my shovel ready. Hate the snow. I love the snow. But we're not getting much right now. It's like kind of sleet, rain-ish concept. It's kind of not what I wanted more, to be honest with you. Is everyone getting pounded with snow right now? Because I'm definitely not. Thoughts on the game, on your game last night, Furcon? You stunk. Did I apply for the Flames head coaching position? Don't tempt me with a good time. I can make sure these guys work harder than last night. Last night was a disappointment out of the Flames. I had to turn it off. I went Australian Open. That's correct. You heard me. I went Australian Open over the Flames Vancouver game. It's snowing a lot in Voorhees? Damn. Happy for the Flyers tonight. Yeah, me too. I'm stoked for the Fly guys. I can't wait for them to get back in action, man. It's been a while. I forget what hockey's even like. What the hell is hockey? It's been so damn long. Hunter Brody for Eagles general manager. That's another great thing. You know, I could be the head coach of the Calgary Flames and then slide on over to be the Eagles GM. What's up, Mosh? What's going on? Paul Reed. Why? I think it's so damn funny that people make accounts for these athletes. No call. He says no coffee. Ooh, that's good. L'chaim. Oh, shit. Every time, man. The back of my throat is going to be nothing. What's up, Brendan? What's going on? Dawson, what's up? What's happening? What's going on, everyone? Yeah, Mo, shame on you. Jeez. Got my coffee next to me just for you. That's what I'm talking about, Cameron. Everyone should have their cup of coffee, maybe the robe concept. I always wanted to be that guy. Now that I'm a homeowner, I go out in the robe, right? We do the old robe concept, and I have my cup of coffee, maybe the slippers in the snow, and I go check out the mail, and I don't have anything yet, but it's like, damn, I went out too early. But I'll go, hey, Bill, hey, Nancy, in the robe, waiting for the paper with the cup of coffee. That's what I wanted to be. Unfortunately, no one does that anymore. I saw a good question come in. Oh, did I see McDavid scored 500 points? Yeah, it's crazy that him and Sidney Crosby did it in the same amount of games. Because of how lethal he is and how much he scores and how explosive McDavid is, it almost puts it in perspective on Sidney Crosby more in his prime than he is now, to be honest with you. Noah thinks that was the most frustrating Sixers game he's ever seen. Now, that could be a little bit of a hot take. Do I think it's the most frustrating ever? I've seen some pretty ugly games out of the Sixers. So I don't know if that falls on ever, but it wasn't what I wanted to see. It wasn't like I was stoked to see that go down. Lindros, fifth fastest. Yeah, I know. I checked out the list when we saw the news kind of happen. Flyers have 5 guys younger than 22 right now. Flyers 6, Rangers 2. We got some Flyers hype in the chat here to get us going here on a Thursday. Look, I'm excited to watch them play too, but I'm a little shocked to see how much Flyers love we got right from the jump. I'm excited to see the Fly guys out in action. It would suck if Claude Giroux's Iron Man streak ends up not being a thing because of COVID. That would be brutal. Brodes, I was about to pull my hair out. I was in a silent classroom at uni, and I just wanted to scream. Yeah, I mean, obviously the offense went stale, and things got ugly. They turned the ball over left and right, the Sixers did in the second half. Where were my notes from last night? They got to be around here somewhere. I don't know what the hell I would have done with them. Because I wrote down the third. Let's see here. I wrote down the third and fourth quarter outscoring. They got outscored 36-27 in the third quarter, 34-22 in the fourth quarter. Now, that's not good enough. Okay? That's not good enough. Got to be better in the second halves. Can't be giving up a 29-point lead. That stretch, though, it got pretty ugly. They were up 6 with 2 minutes to go, so they had a 29-point lead. It goes to 6. Up 5 with 1:40 to go. Eric Gordon, out of this wonky inbound play, ends up getting a steal. It goes to Eric Gordon, who was wide open for 3. They could have made it a 2-point game with 1:40 to go. If they made that shot, I probably would have thought the game was over and Houston was going to come back and win. That was where it that's where it kind of went down in the wrong direction for the Rockets. Do a TikTok on the show? I can't do that. What do you want me to dance? Want to do a busted challenge? That's what everybody wants, the busted challenge. Would you be upset with Kyle Pitts at 6? I think it's a reach. I think he's a good player, and I know that they like to use tight ends, and right, like this is something that they've done here, although new coaching staff, although there's also been speculation that 12 personnel is something that he'd be intrigued by. I'm not out on anything Pitts related. I just don't know if that's your best value at 6. Ryan Clark says TikTok is shit. See, I used to think that. Then I got a TikTok. There's use for it. It depends. What are you looking for? Are you looking for 15-year-old girls that look like they're 25 dancing weird? Well, then, yeah, then maybe if you don't want to see that, then there's other things on TikTok. I know that is the storyline behind it, but I got TikTok, and I start at 9 a.m., and I'm like, all right, let me see what I can check out here this morning, and before you know it, it's 3 p.m., and I haven't moved. Paul Reed is better than Pascal Siakam. It's a hot take if I've ever seen one myself. Gabe Kapler's back. I'm kind of doing a little bit of editing here as we do a little coffee with Brodes. I got a little work to do here, so I'm going to do a little bit of work while we hang out. Maybe not too much. Whoa. But yeah, we just recorded our NHL podcast, so if you're interested in that, make sure you be on the lookout. We're going to have that uploaded today. We talked a little bit about the Pittsburgh Penguins and their GM stuff that just happened with Ron Hextall and Berkey. We did a little bit of the Central Division. We took a look around the league. So, the NHL pod should be dropping at some point today. I just have to let everything play itself out and edit it and upload it, but that should be out today at some point. The first episode had great response. So I appreciate everybody who checked that out, and I can't wait to see where this thing goes moving forward. It's an exciting time. Do you remember when Mike Scott was good? Yeah, Mike Scott has fallen off a bit as a bench player. There's no denying that. Mike Scott has not become the player that, I guess he didn't stay the player that he was. He's a role player, though. I mean, role players go through a bunch of ups and downs. There's no denying that. Did anyone stay up late last night and watch some tennis? I was late night Australian Open guy. I had a blast. If you don't watch the Australian Open, you're missing out big time. But I saw, by the way, Serena went down. I got in my feels. Because if you don't know me, Serena Williams, so I have a hard time choosing between my favorite athletes ever between LeBron and Serena. If you don't appreciate Serena Williams, you are missing out insanely on one of the best athletes we have ever seen in the history of sports. Serena Williams is must-watch television, and when I saw her go down in 2 sets, by the way, I fainted. That's right, mixing in some Australian Open. The Warriors game, that game went into overtime, and Steph Curry was trending a bit on Twitter last night. I dabbled in there. I saw a little bit of it. I saw the reactions of Steph Curry and whatnot late. So you stayed up late to watch Scott Van Pelt. Now, SVP is also must-watch television, though. There's not that much on ESPN that tickles my fancy anymore. Not big on Get Up. Hate the talking head shows in First Take. I mean, all that nonsense is irrelevant to me. I really don't give it the time or day. But SVP has a fantastic version of Late Night Sports Center. You got to give him credit. We all know Seth is the better carrier. I just find it funny that Danny Green has been in a little bit of a funk and Seth has been in a funk. Yet Danny Green goes for his first 3 threes and it's like, oh, Danny Green's back. Danny Green's a shooter. Guess what? Shooters are going to have ups and downs. What's up, Lucas? What's going on? Am I in any fantasy leagues right now? Yeah, I do a fantasy basketball. I'm not a huge fantasy guy, to be honest with you, but I checked into a fantasy basketball league for the first time this season. Zion Williamson has been on a tear lately. Can he keep this up, or is he just hot? Well, I mean, I think the expectations for him would be to keep this up, right? I mean, he is a guy that you look at as someone who can take over this league. That's why you drafted him so damn high. The thing is for me, and maybe I have a flawed mindset, is the New Orleans Pelicans couldn't be any more of a dumpster fire when it comes to a draw. I don't ever think to myself, I want to put on the New Orleans Pelicans. I want to see how the Pelicans are playing. So it has nothing to do with Zion himself. That market, that team, that city, I don't give a damn about it. It doesn't move the needle for me. So I'm never tuning in to watch Zion because I don't care at all for the New Orleans Pelicans. I just don't give a shit. I don't care. They're not a marketable team. They're not fun. Even when Anthony Davis and Boogie Cousins. No, I don't care to watch the New Orleans Pelicans. They just don't move the needle for me. It's sort of like the Florida Panthers in the NHL. They're 10-2-2 right now. And we just talked about the Florida Panthers on Open Ice Hits, which will drop later in this afternoon. But they're a good hockey team. They're a great hockey team. They're 10-2-2. I don't care about watching that. The market kills it for me. The New Orleans market in basketball stinks. That's where I'm at. There's my rant of the day. Boogie slow down JoJo. I thought the Boogie thing was pretty funny, man. He's got the handles. He's taking it to the rack after dribble driving on someone. You know, I'm always rooting for Boogie just based off of his circumstances and what happened in his career. But, yeah, I mean, it was pretty funny to watch him try and put the ball on the floor and make some plays. The three-point shooting. Yo, Brodes, I'm in the future. It's 10:15 over here in West Australia. Wow, West Australia, huh? God bless. Pelicans are much better to watch than the Hornets. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to argue that. That just tells you how much of a terrible spot the Hornets are in. If you think how I feel about the Pelicans is bad, just imagine how I feel about something like the Hornets. You know, some of these franchises are just like, oof, good luck, man. Good luck. Yet then there's a team like Memphis that I enjoy. Now, why is that? I don't know. I have no idea. Well, it's Ja Morant. It's crazy. I don't know why that works that way. Because with Ja Morant in Memphis, I'm all in. Sign me up for 48 minutes of Ja Morant. And that market stinks. Yo, what's the worst Philly front office right now? Well, it's not the Phillies, and it's not the Sixers, and it's not the Flyers. So let's do the process of elimination here. The only thing entertaining about the Hornets is LaMelo Ball. That's true. LaMelo has definitely sparked the intrigue. It wasn't Terry Rozier, okay? It wasn't anybody else. But LaMelo Ball does have this sense of excitement, and he facilitates nice, and he makes play. Like, there is something to be said about that angle of it, of LaMelo Ball. I think that there's some excitement out of him, for sure. There's no denying it. There's going to be an NBA franchise that comes into play, for sure, that they expand on, I believe. I really do think so. I think Seattle will be in the conversation for sure. I think they'll be in the conversation eventually. Who should the Flyers trade for? I mean, I don't know. The trading's going to be brutal this year because of quarantining, going from city to city. Like, there's a lot in play when it comes to the quarantine side of things. You got to remember when Pierre-Luc Dubois and Patrick Laine got traded, they had to both sit out forever until they were able to get back into their cities, right? Like, that's a problem. So when you trade for someone, hey, you can't play. Well, what? What do you mean I can't play? That's a problem. Take Nylander? What do you mean? What Nylander? What Nylander are you talking about? Since we are championship or bust mode, if we need a solid player off the bench, are you dealing Maxey before Matisse? If you're in win now mode, I think Matisse has more value to this team than Tyrese Maxey does. Maxey's a longer-term project. Not that Matisse isn't a long-term project, he is, but his skill set now is more ready to be in the, hey, let's go use this guy's defense, and let's utilize what he does so well to help us defend some players. So if you're in championship or bust mode right now, you would have to imagine that Matisse Thybulle has more value to the Sixers, and you'd have to look into trading Tyrese Maxey first. Yeah, for sure. Or Shake Milton, and Shake Milton helps you get somebody that's a level above. That's more of a veteran presence. That's more of a shot creator. If it costs you Shake Milton, then maybe that's something that you do. Adam Schefter, important tweet. NFL informed teams today the salary cap season will be a minimum of 180. A minimum of 180. Does that mean it can go up? This agreement simply increases the minimum cap by $5 million from 175 to 180. We will properly advise all clubs as soon as the salary cap is set. Interesting. Brodes, thoughts on Joel Embiid's 9 assists? I thought they were incredible. You know, the fact that we have a big man that can move the basketball like that. Now, he's no Jokic, all right? It's not like he's dominating the passing game like Jokic. But, yeah, I thought it was impressive to see him have 9 apples. He was 1 apple away from getting a triple-double. That's right. Joel Embiid was 1 assist away from getting a triple-double. And he kind of had an off night. My man had 31. 31 points is somehow still Joel Embiid's off nights now. That's how impressive he has been. Moshe says 180 is just the floor instead of being 175. Well, hopefully it's 315 so Howie Roseman can figure this thing out. Jokic doesn't dominate the passing game. He just uses more in pick and roll. Now, Jokic, come on now. Let's give some credit where credit is due. All right. Let's give some credit where credit is due here for Jokic in the passing game. To make it seem like, oh, well, it's not that great. I mean, my guy almost averages 9 assists per game as a big man. He dominates the passing game. I think 315 would still leave the Eagles $50 million over the cap. Well, 415. Can we get 415? Go once, going twice, sold. Maybe Furkan Korkmaz can help me raise some money here to pitch it to the NFL. Maybe we can say, hey, look, we'll package all the super chats up, and maybe we can help out the Eagles cap situation. Furkan Korkmaz comes in with the $2 donation. Joel with the quiet 9 assists. Yeah, he was a crazy night for him in terms of stats afterwards. It was like, I didn't think the style of play popped like the stat sheet afterwards. If you watched that game not seeing numbers, and then you looked afterwards and you saw that Joel Embiid had that night, you'd be like, whoa, really? He had 31. He had how many rebounds in double figures? He had 9 assists. Like, it didn't really feel that way. And that's not a knock on Embiid. It's almost saying, like, damn, you can have such an explosive night and it not feel as dominant. I mean, that's just where it has become. That's just where it has become. But he made a big shot late. When it was close, there was a big shot late in the fourth quarter on the left side of the basket, a couple feet away from the from out of bounds, and that really did help solidify the victory. Do you like Jalen Hurts as the starter this year? For this season, I can live with it. For this year, I can live with it. I think that he's intriguing, coachable, fiery guy. Players respect him. Stopgap. I honestly look at Jalen Hurts as a stopgap kind of guy. Do I like Miles Sanders? Well, it's hard to hate Miles Sanders, right? Yeah, of course. Of course I like Miles Sanders. It would be nice if he gets utilized more. Hey, Doug, you listening? I wonder if Doug Pederson gets canned and then kicks up listening to sports talk, or a little coffee with Brodes, I should say. I wonder if Doug P kicks back, you know what, I'm going to rock it with Brodes this morning. And here I am just shredding him for not using Miles Sanders. Well, Doug, maybe if you used him more, we wouldn't be in this fucking situation. How about that, Douglas? Sip on that. Do you think we will re-sign Dwight Howard? To be honest with you, you'd have to see how it plays out in the playoffs, but I wouldn't be opposed to moving on. I'm a little bummed, by the way, that Ben Simmons didn't play. I wanted to see if he'd have a bounce-back game. I wanted to see how he would come out after dropping 42. What type of Ben Simmons would we see? What type of Ben Simmons do we have here? And unfortunately, he wasn't there. The next time we see him, we will see him go up against the Bulls. So it's definitely different. Do you think Doug will get another job? To be honest with you, yeah. There were rumors that he was getting talked to with the Seattle Seahawks about maybe an offensive coordinator gig. And look, he wanted to take time away. I think that played a role into things. Doug Pederson won a Super Bowl. Whether you like him or not, hate him, whatever, you win a Super Bowl and have that on your resume as a head coach, there's a chance that teams are going to give you another opportunity. And I think he deserves to have another opportunity. This place got toxic. This place got nuts. You know, I'll rip him apart for strategic things, the vertical routes, not using the strengths of certain players. But at the end of the day, there was something in 2017 that he was a part of that is going to keep organizations interested. If I'm an organization that isn't normally, like there's a few organizations that are at the top of the list, right? New Orleans, Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, New England when they had Tom Brady. Like there's these organizations that have a higher standard. Then there's other organizations that are in the middle, stuck in neutral, or dumpster fires. If you're one of those organizations, I look at that as, why wouldn't I take a chance on a guy who won a Super Bowl? If it fails, it fails. I've been stuck in the middle forever now, so what the hell's the difference? But you now have someone with some sort of pedigree. I think there's a role for Dougie P. I do. I think there's a role for Doug. He didn't lose the locker room. He is a coach for men. You know, like he knows how to coach men, leader of men. He needs help with strategic side of things. So if the coaching staff is properly surrounding Doug P., there's a role for the guy. There really is. Should the Eagles sign Trey Burton? Why? Because he had the Philly play? That, to me, is a Philly play. That's the, hey, we should go sign a Dario Saric. Why? Well, because people love him. Why? Why do people love Dario Saric? With Trey Burton, that's another... Look, if they do that, whatever, because you have Dallas Goedert being the guy and all, but to me, that's we should go out and get him. Well, why? Why really? They do need help with the back end of the backup tight end, though. I'm not discrediting that. What do you think what do I want the Eagles to do this season? Figure this shit out. There you go. I'll keep it broad. What do I want the Eagles to do this offseason? Figure this shit out. How about that? You think the Birds can win 9+? No. No, I do not. The thing with the Eagles with 9 games, it's funny. We actually had this conversation on the Sports Bash yesterday. Gil believes that he wouldn't be surprised. He wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles won 10 games next year because the line gets healthy and because football, you can bounce back and have a new season and all within a year. And I'm not discrediting that. You see teams go from bad to great in a year. It happens, right? I mean, look what happened with the Dolphins just a couple years ago, whatever. They were a joke. They were a laughingstock. And then you had them battling it out for the AFC East last season and above of some other good teams. So it happens. I just don't know if it's going to happen that quickly. And I was trying to draw the line of satisfaction, and this is what I expected. And I guess in range of 0 to 6 wins would be disappointing. So anything from 0 to 6 wins would fall in that category of disappointing. But if you get that 7th win, then it's like, did they overachieve a little bit? Like if you go 7-9 with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni next year, do you look at that as like, okay, that's really not that bad considering what we thought was going to happen, how we thought this organization was, how brutal we really thought we were. Like 7-9 is, they were 7-9 with Wentz and Doug Pederson in year 1. Like 7-9 for me, I wouldn't be as pissed off, but anything from like 6-10, 5-11, 4-10, that's where I'd be hitting a sense of like, ah! Everyone knows that feeling. Ooh. I think at best 8-8 or 7-9. Talent for talent, I think the Eagles have some of the worst in the league. Think of young stars on the Eagles. Sanders. Yeah, I'm curious to see how Jalen Reagor is going to be. And the problem is you have people who have big names. Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham. And look, Brandon Graham had a sensational year. We all questioned the contract, but it ended up working out, and he was a stud in the season after. But these guys are getting older. Like Fletcher Cox is not the same player that he was 5 years ago. And Brandon Graham isn't the same player that he was 5 years ago, even though that, I mentioned he had a strong season after the contract signing. Like these players that we always talk about, they're getting up there in age. You talk about them for 7, 8, 9, 10 years. And obviously 10 years in football is a long time. You get my point. I'm exaggerating a bit. After you keep, they have Fletcher Cox. They have this and they have that. Yeah, but you've been saying that for so damn long. At what point is it these guys don't play at the same high level anymore? Like, I'm curious, what is Lane Johnson going to be? What is Brandon Brooks going to be? And I know the answer is, the guy's a freak of nature. Look at him. All the time he ends up being a stud. When he ends up getting hurt, he comes back all quickly. Yeah, in theory he does. At some point, though, that will end. Does that mean that's going to end this year? No, I'm not saying that. But these guys are getting up there in age. These guys are getting older. Can you rely on them the same way? I don't know. To me, the answer is no. Joseph comes in with a $3 donation and says, will Alec Boehm have a sophomore slump this year? I don't think so. I don't think so. Now, to expect him to be that insane, that lethal, I don't know. Is that a fair expectation for a young guy coming into the MLB? Maybe not. Maybe he's not going to be that level. But I think he's a true hitter. I think you saw how well he uses the field, how great he is with protecting the plate. 2 strikes on him, high leverage situation, man on second and third. He'll throw a single down the right field line, and it's just good piece of hitting, choking up on the bat. Like I just think he's a good, sound, solid hitter who isn't extremely fascinated with, I have to hit the long ball. The guy just hits the ball, sees the ball, and you can see that in his results. I don't think – is he going to do exactly what he did last year, Joseph? I don't think so. That's a hard ask. Do I think he's going to be a really great player for you? I do. Now, I'm going to look up exactly what he finished with stats-wise. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly the numbers he finished with, but we know he was in the running for some awards here. So he finished with .338 batting average. He had 4 home runs, 23 RBIs, which was sensational. He was knocking in some key runs. OBP, a 400, an 881 OPS. Man, I liked some Alec Boehm. I didn't like his defense, though. I did not like his defense. Third base is a problem for him. And if Rhys Hoskins, the DH plays such a big role in this, too, with last year and all. But if you can get Rhys Hoskins out of first base and have him play first base, Alec Boehm, that is. Remember Rhys Hoskins played left field at one point? Ew, what a joke. What a joke. What do we got here? Do you think the Phillies can win 85-90? I do think, and this is the optimism in me with this Phillies team that I get sucked into every year, I do think that there is a situation where you see them go over 500. I mean, it feels like you never do that. So with that being said, I can see like 85 being in play. Now, sadly, I don't think that that's enough to do what you want them to do ultimately, but I can see 85 wins in there. 85 wins or so. I'm excited for Tony Watson. Call me crazy that I get pumped up for Tony Watson, but based off of last year and based off of what you saw, I'm pumped up for Tony Watson. Tony Watson. Oh, man. Look, I was critical of Dave Dombrowski, and here I am a couple months later, and I'm excited for the moves that he pulled. So maybe my reaction was a little strong, and I was fully aware of what he did in the past, but I also am aware of his downfalls. That matters, but he does have credibility, so I was giving him the time of day, and, before seeing anything on paper, I'm excited for the Phillies. I really am. That Tatis Jr. contract. When I saw the news break last night, the gif of the guy in the red shirt shaking, like, oh, hold me back, fam, kind of thing, just shaking. I almost threw that gif up there. I couldn't find it, though. I went with another one. I went for the Kevin Hart of holding the microphone, kind of staring and blinking off to the side. That was huge. Tatis Jr. setting this crazy market. And here's why I think it's nuts. When Trevor Bauer signed that crazy deal of, it was something like 45 mil one year, 40 the next year. He was accumulating $85 million over the first 2 years. And the third deal was for significantly less player option after each year. Like, he's not going to take that third deal, or that third year of the deal, because of how it's constructed. I thought that would be what was new in baseball. Here you go. Get your payday. We won't lock you in for $300 million, but we'll lock you in for a decent amount. Now, Tatis Jr., compared to Trevor Bauer and their where they're at in their careers, and Bauer being a free agent after a season like he had, it gives him some leverage to get a payday. But I thought that would maybe be the trend. Big money early, maybe like a 2-year deal of this explosive amount, and then we'll figure out what happens after. But here comes a Tatis Jr. move where he's just shredding through the market at ease. But how do you turn that down? At that age, it's like, hey, here's $300 million. Do you want it? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Don't do drugs, kids. Are you referencing me? Do you think I do drugs? Is that what you're saying? I do drugs? Me? No. What's up, JIW? What's going on? Moneyball, best baseball movie ever? No. Nope. The Sandlot. It's the best movie ever. Whenever I get asked, Brodes, what's your favorite movie? It's so simple. It's The Sandlot. The Sandlot is the best movie ever. Sparta, Brodes, do you use a French press? No, I do not. I have a Ninja, and I keep it simple. Pags. What's up, bro? Pags chiming in with a $10 donation. You're a beauty, dude. You're a beauty. Thank you so much for all the support. I can't even put it into words. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the support. Seriously, reach out to me. I'm not kidding. Hit me up on the Instagram DMs. We got to catch up. You still watch my old Super Bowl videos? It's a shame because my post-game reaction isn't up anymore. I don't know what happened. My post-game reaction just is not up anymore. I think because I used highlight clips of the Super Bowl, there was a copyright issue back in the day, so I had to take it down. But my reaction to me watching the game is still on there. Crazy to go back and watch. What about Miracle? Miracle is a good movie. I like it. It's not The Sandlot, though. Miracle's great. Every time I see them get bag skated, though, man, I towards the end of my career, when I somewhat knew in my head that it was over and I didn't love it anymore, but it's hockey. It's been my life for 20 years. It's so hard to walk away from the game. Whenever we would get bag skated, the thoughts that went through my head was, holy shit, this sucks. I remember my sophomore year in college, we did the beep test. We did all the training, right? Where we had our strength and conditioning coach and our preseason stuff where you would get tested. Are you in shape? Did you come prepared to start the year? Oh, I got, you know what I got from Coach? Brodes, did you do anything this offseason? I got hit with that. I did. I was in the back run. We did the beep test on and off the ice, but when it came to the stuff off the ice, you want to talk about being in last place. So that was where it mentally clicked for me that here I am, sophomore year of my college career, And I'm like, damn, I don't love it anymore like I used to. And that was such a defining moment when I realized my preparation for my final year of hockey. And look, everyone goes through. There's always a moment where when you're an athlete for as many years as you are, there's that moment of, hey, that's it. That's that defining moment. And that was it for me. I chased my dream of sports radio, and here we kind of are. The Tatis contract, yeah, I just kind of mentioned it's crazy, man. I thought that baseball was going in another direction, but I guess not. Brodes is skipping online school. Oh, no. Brodes, I'm skipping online school for coffee with Brodes. Well, should Odubel Herrera start if he wins the job? I know that's a hot topic right now. Did you hear Joe Girardi speak? I don't think that they took this lightly, okay? So I'm trusting Girardi. I'm trusting Dave Dombrowski that they fully assessed this situation and did it the right way. I'm not here to play a morale cop, but all I know is these two people are still married together, all right? They're married. They are with each other. All charges were dropped. But I don't know the behind-the-scenes stuff. But I'm not in the camp of just because you do something, and it is disgusting. It is embarrassing. It is brutal what he was allegedly accused of doing. So I'm not downplaying that. But to act as if someone does something so putrid in life, they are that forever, and there's no way ever that they can learn and grow and go to counseling and really, truly adapt as a human. That's unfair too. Because I know if I've ever made a mistake, and granted, I would never do anything like that. If I've ever made a mistake in life, I would want an opportunity to prove to everyone that, that's not truly who I am. And if the Phillies came to conclusion together that that's the case for Odubel, well, then I respect their decision, and I know that they don't take it lightly. I don't think that they're just pretending this isn't a big deal. So I put faith into that. Should Joe Girardi play center field? Maybe he can play the off days instead of Andrew Knapp. Do you think the Phillies are failing Harper? No. If they didn't do what they did this offseason, yes. But they did do it. So because they did it this offseason, then the answer is no, I don't think that they are that they're failing him. I think this is step one of a 5-step process. Thoughts on the starting pitching rotation? You know what you're getting in Nola. You know what I know what you're getting out of Nola. People might have higher expectations. I know what we're getting out of Nola. I know what we're getting out of Wheeler and to an extent Eflin. Matt Moore and Anderson are sort of curveballs. They're kind of off, with no pun intended here. I'm just saying in terms of you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting. I don't think Spencer Howard makes it from the jump. I think Spencer Howard, your top prospect, is not going to be on the top squad to start the year. Oh, the rotation. I mean, if you look at it compared to what the rest of the division has, this rotation's not great. It's not great by any means. You got question marks. So 1 to 10, they're like a 4.5. I think 4.5 is a fine number to give them. They're probably like a 4.5. What do you guys think? That's a good question. I want you in the chat right now to grade the Phillies starting rotation 1 to 10 right now with Nola, Wheeler, Eflin, Matt Moore, and Anderson. What does that tell you right now? 1 to 10. I give it a 4.5. The fact that I'm going to watch Ian Anderson for the Braves just destroy guys. Ian Anderson's a stud. I love watching him pitch. And all I got to think about is all these other guys, Mickey Moniak and Adam Hazley. Like, what the hell was this garbage that we just sat through with Phillies baseball over that last handful of seasons? Too many seasons. We got a 4 out of 5, 5 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Come on, Furcon. 3 out of 10, 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. We got a 6-9 in there for some laughs, another 6-9 in there for some laughs. 6 out of 10. All right, so I got a little bit lower on this. Maybe I'm being the jerk off, or maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm right. What terrible pitchers will the Phillies make look like Cy Young candidates this season? What terrible pitchers will the Phillies? What do you mean by that? Normally, who would leave here would then go be good. Like Jake Arrieta might be a stud in Chicago. Why? Just because. Brandon Workman might succeed in Chicago. Why? Well, because the Phillies. Is that what you mean? Because I don't know what pitchers come here and then they look great. That never happens. That never happens. We need to trade for Max Scherzer. Max Scherzer's intensity is probably the greatest thing I've ever seen. From a competitor standpoint, there is nothing better for me than watching Max Scherzer in a high-leverage situation. Do you miss Doc Emmerich? To be honest with you, no. And here's why. I thought that he was coming to an end. Like, I thought it was very recognizable that he was not who he was anymore. He was not the guy. And maybe it was the delay, because there were some brutal calls that happened in the bubble. But remember, you're working remotely. And during the time of the bubble, you didn't have access the way that you do now with everything that occurred. So maybe that's skewing my mindset on Doc Emmerich. But I thought it was time for Doc Emmerich, to be honest with you. I really did. I thought it was time for him to go. I think it's weird to see Mike Babcock inside the broadcast team after some of these games, to be honest. Babcock has zero personality, and I hate the way he talks. I mean, talk about a Canadian. Look, I don't have it. I can't be the guy to judge here on how people talk, but come on now. Mike Babcock, he's not filled with emotion. He's not filled with a good personality. How did you like Joel Embiid with the headband? I love Embiid headband flow. I think swag-wise, A+. Now, unfortunately, he didn't play well enough for his liking to keep it going, and that kind of bothered me. By the way, we are doing a giveaway every Wednesday, the Hump Day giveaway. So every Wednesday, you want to go to my Twitter page, @Brodes81. Toss me a follow. Right now, we are giving away a signed Ron Jaworski picture, signed. So we got some great gifts coming up here, giveaway gifts. If you are not entered to win, it's so simple. All you have to do is follow me and retweet the tweet. So go head over to Twitter, @Brodes81, and make sure you do that. Brodes, what are the best sports to watch live? Like in attendance? The Wells Fargo Center with this Sixers organization as of late is a hard thing to debate. That's a fun time in a good game. See, there's times where you go live and they win by 30. And there's games in the NBA where you win by 20, you win by 25, you win by 30. And it's fun to be there, but it's not the same. If you go to a good Sixers game, fourth quarter, 3 minutes to go, you're up against the Celtics, back and forth, buckets being made, defensive plays, and then a big three is made right before a Boston Celtics timeout, and here comes a standing ovation at the Wells Fargo Center. That type of moment, it's hard to beat that type of moment. So you got to hit basketball on the right day. I guess if you ask me on the best situation possible for all of these sporting events, what would be the best? It would have to be the Sixers. It would have to be a Sixers game, man. It would have to be a Sixers game. Did I watch tennis yesterday? Yes, I did. I caught some late night tennis. I was loving it. I'm a big tennis fan, but I'm not a die-hard fan, if that makes sense. Outside of the majors, I check in and I casually check it out, but I'm not all insane. And even with these Grand Slam events, first round, second round, third round, I'm not going to act as if I watch every first round tennis match. But once it starts dwindling down in the later rounds of these Grand Slams, my intensity picks up big time. So that's kind of where I am with tennis. It needs to be the right matchup. Other than that, it's good background noise, and I enjoy watching. But it's a great sport. Tennis is so underrated, and it deserves more love. What's the best Phillies stadium? The way that they keep attacking the Wells Fargo Center every single damn year, it's hard to argue that that's up there. They're all grade A, really. They are. I went to Calgary, and I went to a couple Flames games. The Calgary arena, holy shit! It made me realize what we have here when it comes to these businesses and what we have here in terms of the facilities. I'm a huge Serena fan, so that one was crushing. But I like Osaka. I like her too. Naomi's fantastic as well. But 2 straight sets. Come on. Come on, Serena. Come on. Good morning, Brodes. What do you think about George Hill as a trade option? I love it. I think that's the category of what you're kind of looking at here. Citizens Bank Park, nothing better than walking in, the feeling of hot dogs, drunk fans tailgating, and I miss that too. You know, I love the Phils. I really love Citizens Bank Park. Here's my problem with Phillies fans. I guess here's my problem with Citizens Bank Park, and it ties together with Phillies fans. What I just described to you of emotion out of a Wells Fargo Center Big Three as the opposing team calls timeout. You can look early in the Bryce Harper tenure and say that place was packed, but what ended up happening by game 60? No one was there. You don't have the consistent sellout to the point that makes Citizens Bank Park great. Citizens Bank Park, with it filled to the max, 08, 09, 2010, like those type of runs, I'm all in for it, right? I appreciate those. But now I can't put it high on my list because it's half filled. These Phillies fans are frauds. They don't show up to the ballpark. The atmosphere is not there. Fran's going to bring me a Miller Lite. I'm here for it. I'll shotgun a Big Daddy. I'm not going to do it smooth. You can Snapchat it and say, Brodes, you're a bitch, because it might just foam out my mouth a little bit. I'll attempt to do it. That's what needs to be appreciated. But regardless, the Phillies fans, like, it's not a packed barn. And when you go to the Sixers games, they're sold out every night, and it's insane when it erupts. So I got to stand my ground and go Sixers. Go Sixers. Maybe that's recency biased. Yeah, they have been. But right now, it's been a joke. It's been a joke. We got some baseball news here. John Heyman. I kind of talked on this yesterday, right? Like, it's crazy that when you see something from Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter, like these top football guys, right? Mike Garafolo, what do you think? Oh, it's legit. When you see something from Bob Nightingale, John Heyman, it's like these guys are frauds. Now, I like Jeff Passan. Passan's a beaut, but when baseball news drops, you got to question the top reporters. I find that pretty fascinating. Brodes and beers, tailgates, have a nice ring. Look, Brodes Media is kicking off here. We can maybe implement a Brodes, something with Brodes, tailgates with Brodes, Jetro with Brodes, maybe. I don't know. Just spitball, and we can get it sponsored by Jetro, where everyone knows, hey, if the Phillies play at 1, get there at 8 a.m. Let's get the 40s. Maybe we can do some cold 45s. Let's get weird. Let's get real weird. They got to trade for Hader. I don't think that's going to happen. I really feel like this is kind of what you have. I think what you got now is essentially what you're going to have. I really do. Brodes, you should go live during the Sixers and Flyers game. So, we are, Fran, you're killing me. We are thinking about maybe implementing, just keep it in the back of your mind here, because we are taking the next step with Brodes Media. Maybe not every game, but maybe a game of the week. So maybe there'll be a game of the week where I go live. So every week, everyone knows what game that is. And hell, maybe we do something where the people vote on what game they want to see. So look, all these options are on the table. I am so excited to kind of grow this thing to the next step. Underrated Princeton hockey games. Those are a blast. J-Dog, you a big Princeton hockey guy? My best friend played at Princeton, so I had my fair share of Princeton games for 4 years. I've been to a ton of Princeton games, to be honest with you, and they are a good time. I love it there. I watched a lot of good games go down there. Am I watching March Madness? Thomas, I think you're a great guy. I think you're a fantastic listener. Of course I'm watching March Madness. What kind of question is that? Of course we're all watching March Madness. Gonna be a little weird this year. Hobie Baker Arena is dope. Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's so dope. Let's not get too far out of proportion here. For it being an Ivy League school, it's a nice building. I've been you look around the UNH, Boston College, you go to Maine, you see some really nice college hockey rinks. Princeton doesn't fall in that category, but for the environment, for what it is, Hobie Baker's a nice barn. A nice barn. Can't wait for the Flyers now. That's right, Tyler, I almost forgot. Because it's been so out of sight, out of mind, I almost kind of forgot about the Fly guys tonight. How dare I? How dare I? Flyers, Rangers. Rangers have been disappointing. I want the Flyers to step on their throats. The problem is, what's going on? Are you limited in resources? But AV says, No excuses. That's what I want to hear from my coach. Why can't you watch hockey, Jake? Why not? You're missing out. It's a great sport. Thoughts on Carter Hart? Disappointing, but I'm not out on him. Disappointing. I think a lot of his disappointment, though, comes with how bad the defense has been in front of him. If your defense is better, if you are stronger in front of him, like he's getting left out to dry. He really is. 2-on-0s right in front of the crease. That can't happen. That's bad hockey, and that's going to make your goalie look bad. Now, at the same time, the one that always sticks out to me is Brad Marchand on the right side of the ice. Just go short side, low glove, and you got to make that save. So there's plenty of saves that he needs to make, and he knows that, and he knows that. But I also think that's a lot of breakdowns in front of him. So I would say disappointing, not all because of him, some because of him, but I think he's got the right skill set to bounce back. Hoskins has been fine. At the moment, we don't have a better replacement. I don't think Hoskins has been fine. I need more out of Hoskins. I demand more out of Rhys Hoskins. What was I asked about streaming the Raptors game? Steve, we're not yet. We're working on some things. We're not at the point yet to make the full commitment to that. It'll be coming soon, though. It'll be coming soon. Essentially, what's going on here is, to give you a little tease, I'm ready to commit to this full time. So I'll keep it at that. And with that being said, you can only imagine that things are going to be implemented throughout here. But I'm ready to commit to this full time. We'll keep it there. Matthew, hey, Brodes, been watching for 3 years. Keep up the great work. I just had the goosebumps reading that. Just the fact that I've been going at it for that long, and there is this community that we have created here with Brodes Media now. And, someone's been on this journey with 3 years with me and just going through the ups and downs and the roller coasters. Just crazy. It really is. And I want to appreciate all of you that take the time out of your day to kick it, hang out, talk sports, react to the reaction shows and all of that. It's been an incredible journey. And I love all you for this. What are my thoughts on the Flyers defense, Pags? They stink. They're bad. They're brutal. You can't win a damn thing with this. I think they need Brodes back there. Chipping pucks off the glass. Yeah, I think Gustafson's I think Ghost going from healthy scratch to starting with Ivan Provorov isn't a great look. I think Justin Braun is brutal. Friedman is what he is. I mean, you're not good. You're not good back there. It's a problem. It's a problem. Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate it. Do you think Thibault will ever be ready to take the starting role? No, because he can't shoot. He can't score offensively, and that crushes you. There's going to be outliers where, hey, look, you're going to make an adjustment, and in one game, you might throw him on someone for a longer period of time. You can use him as this Swiss Army knife type of dude, so there will be a time. But long-term starter, until he figures it out offensively, I don't think you have the possibility of doing it. I don't think so. I watched Zumhoff last night over ESPN. I normally do, for the most part, stick with NBC Sports Philadelphia. That's another great question, though. I want to hear in the comments. When you have a game on ESPN and NBC Sports Philadelphia, what do you do? Do you go ESPN or do you go Mark Zumhoff? That's an interesting question. Yeah, I'm a fan of the breakdown. I'm not like a diehard. I got to go catch them, but I think they're interesting. Has to be NBC. Has to be NBC. Now the flip back and forth is interesting. So now you're flopping through, going back. I know people sometimes like to go ESPN just to get the national perspective, just to hear a different voice. Yeah, dude, I'm a Doris Burke. Standing ovation out of Brodes. Standing ovation out of Brodes, even though I didn't stand up. But for the most part, I do tend to go NBC Sports Philadelphia over ESPN. But I don't mind checking in. The flip back and forth, though, is pretty interesting. She loves Ben. Yeah, look, the way Ben has played recently, like that's the Ben I fell in love with. It's funny. I was a Ben diehard. Ben stan. Loved him. Ben apologist, if you will. And then this year in the beginning, it was so putrid. I fucking snapped. I lost my mind. But I know what's in there. And that's the frustrating thing. Like, I'm fully aware of how elite he is. So it's not like I think he's one of those guys. There's Ben Simmons haters that think, oh, he's just another guy. No. He is far from just another guy. And I'm fully aware of that. But the fact that he's not going to reach his full potential is what destroys me inside. And maybe we're seeing the turning point of the growth. Maybe that's what we're seeing when he comes out and says, I'm working on the mentality, I'm working on the mental side of the offensive game. It doesn't come natural to me. So maybe that's something that is, a part of this. What do I think of getting a high-volume guard wing player like Terrence Ross? You do need a player like that. You need a guy who can shoot off the dribble, create his own shot. That's what you need. When a player gets physical, Doris Burks' reaction is hilarious. Thoughts on Archie Bradley for the Phils? He's got an attitude to him. He's got a little bit of personality, which would be something to look at when the season moves forward. If things go well, I'm sure it'll be fun. If things go bad for him, you can see a situation where, like Jake Arrieta, he was very vocal at times. What did he say? Want to dent someone's skull? That was like the one takeaway you had of Jake Arrieta's tenure here. Will you get moments like that? I'm almost interested from the media perspective, what you get out of him. And knowing where the media is, I guess via Zoom, it's a little different this year. So, by the way, it's 10 o'clock on the dot. Considering we had a microphone issue for the first couple of minutes, I'll go 1 or 2 minutes longer just to fill up the 1 hour. I don't want to jip anyone off 2-3 minutes here. We had some issues technically from a technical standpoint with the microphone early. So we'll go a couple more minutes. I think Matisse needs real starting minutes to develop. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's the starting minutes. I think the mentality with him right now is just go play. Go be you. Go do what you need to do. And that's what they're stressing is just go be Matisse Thybulle. Be the active defender. And let the offense worry about itself. And if he logged in starter minutes, this is what I think the philosophy would be offensively. Go be you. I don't think the message would change. I think the message would still be, go be you, Matisse Thybulle, and this is what Matisse is. Now, that doesn't mean he'll never grow into that, but I don't think that that's anything that's going to happen now. I don't think that's the emphasis right now. Maybe that's more of an offseason thing with Doc being here for a little bit of time, but I don't think it's a situation where that's what's going on. I don't know if anyone else feels this way, but I hate when the Phillies have a national game. I don't know why. It might be so many games, it breaks the routine of the local brawl. Yeah, I'm not a big A-Rod guy and who else? Mendoza. I don't like when they're on the crew. I hated the Facebook watch. Remember they did the Facebook watch the other year? That was bad. The game was exclusively on Facebook. That was a complete mental breakdown. I guess like a mental, I don't know. You know what I mean. It was brutal. It was a bad decision. Baseball's tough, national media-wise, whether it's Sunday Night Baseball, the broadcast seems fake. Fox, I don't mind Fox. Now, call me crazy. I love baseball when it's Joe Buck. When Joe Buck does a baseball game, it feels bigger to me. When Fox does a baseball game, it feels significantly bigger to me than when I'm watching on local broadcast or when it's ESPN feed. So I'm all in for a Fox game of baseball. Sign me up for baseball, Fox, Joe Buck. Give me some of that. I'm all juiced up and fired up right now. What do you think the outcome for the 2-game series with the Raptors should be? If I'm taking a shot at the dark here, 1-1. Is that too much of a safe answer? Maybe it is. But look, with that being said, thank you guys so much for hanging out in this hour of Coffee with Brodes. You know the deal. Go follow me on Twitter at Brodes81. Hit the subscribe button. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Wait. Real quick. Someone just mentioned Raptors. We got the Bulls to figure out first. Let's not go too far ahead of ourselves here. We got the Bulls to worry about on Friday. All right? So thank you guys so much for listening. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning, 9 a.m.